when last we left our intrepid adventurers. The group has been hired by Southern Desiderata to spy on the opposing kingdom of Northern Desiderata, home to Destaria I, also known as the Young Queen. The village that they have been watching is known as Stephen's Hold and is ruled by a brother and sister that seem intent on killing each other for the inheritance of the title. The party has been approached by each side to help them secure the throne. As they talk through the night, questions surface about what happened to Akai while she was captured by the strange rider. She tells them that her time moved slower. She seemed to have been in the past, and she was there for several days. She says that she was in the company of a group of ancient Mantuthian wizards who were building a weapon to combat a group called the Lords of the Starry Sky. Kebradane nods. He has heard of that order, as has Scala. Akai says that in the dream, she was the daughter of the Archmage Troubadour. He said that she was his daughter, Esnith, and needed to be sacrificed to be the vessel for the weapon that slays the stars. Scala interjects that from what she has read, that was over 1,000 years ago. Everyone agrees that their knowledge of Mantuthian history is lacking. Perhaps they should call it the Mantuthian stronghold of Lament on their way back down south. The discussion is tabled as there is a knock at the door. Paladin Marcus has a visitor in the common room. He heads down and is met by a former student and friend of his named Van Cherie. Although they have not seen each other in years, time does not seem to have touched Van Cherie's face. He notices a Northern Deseratan uniform under her riding cloaks. She offers him a drink. She says that she saw that Australia was in the village and figured that her mother and father wouldn't let her out into the world without a strong guardian, and she could think of few stronger guardians than Paladin Marcus. Marcus takes the drink and looks around for other soldiers, but there are only guardsmen from Stephen's Hold in the common room. Cherie smiles at Marcus's guarded actions and says that even if she had been sent to kill him, she wouldn't. She wants to offer him words from Queen Destaria herself. She tells him that the Queen offers him amnesty and the position of Prime Paladin. Cherie says that she has found new hope for her life in the service of Destaria. And Marcus could too. Marcus is quiet, as if mulling over the offer, and then he refuses. Cherie grins and says that she feels that he's really too weak to be Prime Paladin after all. She tells him that she thinks he's a coward. And by telling him that Northern Desiderata is going to invade in 2 days, it will force him to run away because he's a coward. If he does run away, he will do great harm against the Southern Deseratan cause by making future allies wary of them. She adds, of course, if Marcus stays, Cherie says he will be captured and brought before the Queen. She will break him and reduce him to a shadow that shuns the light. For a second it's quiet. Then Marcus curses her and says that he will never bow down to the thing that squats on the Deseratan throne. Cherie sneers and watches him leave. When Marcus gets back to the room, the others are still awake. He tells them about the attack that's coming, and they all decide that Stephen's Hold is a lost cause. They prepare 2 letters of warning, urging both the brother and the sister to band together against the common enemy. They arrange for the notes to be delivered, and they leave the inn. On their way out of town, they are approached by Hallister, the patriarch, with some of Stephen's guardsmen in tow. The priest tells them that the Kenna has thrown his sister in the dungeon and is inviting the forces of Desiderata to take over the city. He tells the party that they need to save her. They owe him that much for the cures he gave them earlier. They think it over for a second and then all agree. Seraph doesn't like the look of Hallister the patriarch, but he agrees to go anyway. As they approach the keep, they see that the walls are unmanned. Marcus and Seraph sense a trap. The party goes inside the gates, where they encounter a line of northern Deseradan soldiers armed with muskets. Paladin Marcus smiles and then roars in defiance while charging the line. Confused, Seraph follows. None of the bullets find their mark. In the back of the party, Australia and Scala pick off some of the archers on the walls using spells. No sooner have they secured the yard of the castle than Kenna Stephen appears at the top of the keep tower with a dagger to the throat of his sister. He berates the party for helping the patriarch, who he says is his sister's lover. Sneering that the priest can have her, he slits her throat and tosses the Kennis from the battlements of the tower. Scala grabs Marcus and teleports both of them to the top of the keep. Akai, Seraph, and Australia make for the tower entrance door. On the battlements, Marcus fights with the soldiers. Kenna Stephen makes his escape, opening the door in the stairs down. He locks them behind him as he leaves. Marcus defeats the last of the soldiers, while Scala guards the ones that are alive. The paladin bashes at the door, but it holds. The door even resists Scala's magic. Downstairs, Akai has gotten the main door open by picking the lock. Seraph slips by and races up the steps. Halfway up, he runs into the Kenna, who is on his way down. The two draw swords and fight on the open staircase. They seem evenly matched, when with a flourish of a blow, Seraph stabs, and the Kenna falls off the stairs to the ground below. Marcus and Scala are now coming down the stairs as the duel ends. They go with Australia, Scala, and Keberdane to see if they can help the patriarch. The old man is cradling the body of the Kennis in his arms. Suddenly the woman's chest heaves and her eyes open. She thanks Hallister for saving her life and the party for saving her kingdom. She is weak, but she says she will recover her strength in time. Scala goes back into the keep to loot Stephen the Kenna's body, only to find it missing. It seems that Stephen wasn't really dead. He crawled to a hidden door and made his escape. The door is blocked with wards from Keberdane, and the group watches the remaining northern Deseradan soldiers surrender to the city guard. The main Deseradan army is still sitting off to the north, and the patriarch asks the party to stay for a few days to help out. Despite their reservations about the Kennis, the sister, they decide that she is the lesser and the more manageable of the two evils. The next day, Seraph gets up early and goes to the local temple of Chaldasea to poke around. He arrives, and the door opens just as he's about to pull the doorknob. Hallister's there. He invites Seraph in. Seraph knows very little about the Chaldite religion, but is taken back. Instead of what he's heard is in the temple, a regular statue of Chaldasea, there is a more lurid female statue that stands in its place. The figure is that of the Queen of Desiderata, Destaria I, in the form of the Dark Lady of Pleasure. At the feet of the statue is a smaller statue. It's one of Seraph, with the wings that he has not had since he arrived on the world. The statue of him is in a position of supplication. The patriarch confides in Seraph that he sees Seraph's appearance in the city as a good sign from the Dark Lady. When Seraph gets back to the rest of the party, he tells them what he saw. Australia's mother is a priestess of Chaldasea, and from what Seraph describes, she's confused. That's not what a temple's supposed to look like. They all head to the temple and go straight in. They see that inside stands a statue of Chaldasea, along with the Chaldite saints and the martyrs, exactly as it should be. A bleary-eyed Hallister shuffles into the temple and asks what's going on. He seems to have just woken up. They describe what happened earlier. Hallister says that Seraph was probably sleepwalking or having a bad dream. He then shrugs off the intrusion. He smiles at Australia. He tells her that he is not the lover of the sister. He says that he is actually smitten by Australia and intends to ask for her hand in marriage from her father, who is a powerful warlord in the south. This horrifies Australia. She's 14 and he's 40. She feels that her adventuring career has just begun, and although she doesn't think her father will give her away to this priest, she is glad that it will take the letter at least a month to reach him in the far continent of Sadakadish. Later, they get the news that although the city is about to be attacked, the Kenes, the sister, wants to have a coronation so that she will be legally the ruler of the city-state. The party attends and watches in horror as the sister has the former captain of the guard murdered by throwing him to wild dogs, and then offers each of her brother's men either the choice of recognizing her as the ruler or having their throats slit. All of the soldiers choose to recognize her, and their lives are spared. The festivities are cut short, though, as the attack from the army of Northern Desiderata has started. The Kenes tells the party that she wants them to leave tonight and take letters to the king of Southern Desiderata, proclaiming her solidarity with him and the Southerners. As the battle begins, the party slips away into the night.